Good morning, Kate Richardson here from Energy Health Inc. And I thought I would share a couple of tips with you this morning based on some of the work that we're doing in our program at Energy Health Performance. This is around 10 specific tips for assisting getting good sleep routine. So we've got 10 items here that sleep experts believe make a huge difference to your sleep routine and also in your performance and stress. So I know that in our family, we're really conscientious about our sleep routine and having a good sleep habit. And that makes a big difference to our energy the next day and even for the following week. So number one on our list, guys, is regularity. And by that, we mean falling asleep and waking up at the same time every single day. It's certainly going to bed and waking up at the same time every single day. Our bodies love routine, and particularly when it comes to sleep. If our bodies get into a good sleep pattern, they recover better. They become more familiar as to when to recover. Our certain phases of sleep are more clear. The body knows when to put those phases into place because it's predicted and habitual. So going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time as much as you can every single day is really key. If you are sleeping past your alarm, it's probably a good indication that you are underslept, so you're in sleep deficit. So it probably means that you need to be going to bed perhaps that 1 hour earlier the next night or for a couple of days until you're not sleeping past that alarm anymore. Number two is screen time. Probably a no-brainer for most people. What screen time does is it inhibits the release of melatonin, which is our beautiful sleep hormone that helps us to settle into a sleep pattern for the evening. So screen time, if you can avoid it 1 hour before you go to bed, that's optimum. There is a little setting on our devices called night shift. If you're not aware of it, it's really good to use it. If you absolutely have to glance at your phone or your device before you go to bed, pop your device onto night shift. What that does is in the evening setting, you're able to set it to like a sunset. So it comes up with an orangey color and that mimics the sunset. And then in the morning, you get that blue light, which basically is your sunrise light that comes in. So it just mimics that circadian pattern. So set your phones onto night shift mode. And if you can, please turn them off 1 hour at least before you go to bed. If you like watching Netflix and you like having your favorite show, that's totally fine. Try and finish watching a show at least 1 hour before your bedtime, your designated bedtime, and you'll find that it has a big impact on how quickly you're then able to fall asleep. Number three is light. And we've already talked a little bit about the sunrise and the sunset light. It's very different. But if you can completely eliminate lights, within the half an hour before you go to bed, pop on a candle. Once again, a candle light is that beautiful sunset light that helps to increase your melatonin release. That's really good for the evenings. Candlelight's beautiful anyway. It's a great way for you to relax. So lights down or low or off at least 1 hour before you go to bed makes a big difference, gets the body prepared for sleep. Temperature. Another important one, neuroscientists and sleep experts recommend that we actually keep our hands and feet warm, but that our core temperature is still cool. So research shows us that we do actually fall asleep more quickly if we're cooler than if we're hot. So, you might struggle if you're overseas or on holidays and it's really, really hot, you can't cool down. You might find it's harder then to both fall asleep and then stay asleep in the evening. So really try and stay cool if you can, warm hands and feet, cold core temperature, then at least you have a little bit more adjustment period and you're able to sleep better. Number five is food. Don't go to bed too full or too hungry. Quite often you fall asleep having not had your evening snack or your afternoon lunch, and you'll suddenly get that hunger feeling and it might even wake you up. So, try and have your dinner between 2 and 3 hours before you go to sleep so that you have still got some food in your belly, but you're not completely overstuffed and you're also not super hungry that will wake you up in the night. Number six, hydration. So you can also imagine a similar situation with the bathroom. If you are overhydrated, you're more likely to have to wake up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which can then obviously disrupt your sleep and possibly which sleep cycle you're in at that time. But also make sure that you have enough hydration such that you're not waking up thirsty either. So get that balance right before bed. That's really important. Number 7 is exercise. Now, exercise is well known for helping you get fatigued and sleep better in the evenings. But what's important is it can also wake you up. So we want to try and have our exercise done within 2 hours of going to bed if possible, so that you're still rested enough by the time you want to actually fall asleep, you're feeling relaxed and you're not sort of hyperactive from your exercise. Number 8, relaxation. This is a big one for people who are really stressed or burnt out, have a lot of worries before they go to sleep. Breathing is really, really useful when it comes to trying to get your body to relax, getting into that parasympathetic nervous system state. So breathing, even just 2 rounds of deep breathing, can really help to set the body into that pattern and then send you off to sleep. Really, really good. Or whether it's meditation, whatever it is that helps you. And the candlelight breathing, a warm bath, don't make it too hot. That will also stimulate your nervous system. We want to have it nice and relaxing before you go to bed. So relaxation, breathing, resting, whatever it takes. Bring the noise down so that you've got that lovely relaxed environment before you go to bed. Number 9 is napping. Napping is beautiful. We love napping. Optimally, our circadian rhythms actually love us to rest between the hours of about 2 and 4 p.m. The Europeans and Spanish and, those guys have it really right. They often have a siesta at that time because our bodies have a natural tendency to want to rest at that time. It doesn't have to be sleeping, but certainly resting. Unfortunately, in the Western world or countries where we don't have siestas, we tend to go reach for the coffee or the sugar between the hours of 2 and 4 because we want to keep ourselves awake, when in fact that's really contraindicated to what our bodies naturally want to do and our circadian rhythms are telling us. So napping between 2 and 4 is fabulous. Try not to nap beyond about 4 p.m. guys, only because you might find yourself not being able to sleep then that night. Some people can nap for 10 minutes, it'd be a power nap, and then just feel amazing for the rest of the evening or the afternoon. Others, will sleep for an hour and still be fine as well. But it's more important that you finish your napping at a time where you still have enough of the day left to then be rested again for your nighttime sleep. And then the final one is sleep environment. How you set up your sleep environment is really, really important. So for example, we have very good sleep routines in our house. We have a very comfortable bed. We make sure that our pillows are comfortable. I personally only I don't sleep with any pillows. If I do, it's a tiny flat one like this because I can get a sore neck. And my bed is super comfortable. I feel like I'm completely relaxed and comfortable while I'm in bed. And I even wear earplugs. I don't live in a particularly noisy area, but I find that, if I can reduce the sound around me, I just have much more of a peaceful sleep. Eye masks, if you live in an area where you've got really bright lights or you haven't got enough blinds to block out the light. If it's really early in the morning, it's very bright. That really has a huge impact on being able to get that duration of sleep. It's not just the duration of sleep that's important, obviously, it's the sleep quality. So in order for you to go into that beautiful REM sleep or REM sleep, which helps your body completely recover and rejuvenate, you need to get that duration in order for that to happen. So sleep environment, really, really important. If you have an animal in your bedroom, maybe consider letting them out at some point in the night so that you don't have that constant interruption. I know it's hard with children. I also have children myself, and sometimes if they get up, that's just what it is, that's life. But as much as possible, try and eradicate those noises and environmental factors that are inhibiting your sleep. Sleep is so, so important. I've already said about regularity, so going to bed and waking up at the same time each night, super important. But you need really an absolute minimum of 8 hours sleep a night. So 8 hours is what's been researched to show gives you full recovery. So between those hours are the times that your body is going into each of those sleep phases that helps you recover. So minimum 8 hours sleep if you can. We also know that you can't bank sleep. So you can't, have 3 hours one night and say, oh, that's okay, I'm just going to do another 10 the following night and expect to make up for it. Yes, it's good to recover the following day if you have had a short amount of sleep, but it's not going to make up for the sleep deficit that you've experienced. So wherever possible, if you know you're going to have a short sleep or a lesser sleep for one day, try and make sure that day you've incorporated things like extra nutrition, extra hydration. you're resting, you're relaxing, you're doing some mindfulness and meditation to try and at least counteract for that sleep deficit. You're not going to be able to make it up, but you can help your body to fight against the deficit. And that's really, really key as well. So good nutrition, try and getting good relaxation techniques in there, breathing, that sort of thing. Exercising, but not too much if you have a really big sleep deficit. You want to be able to move, yes, for sure, so that you can sleep the following night. But yeah, giving yourself all the tools to accommodate for sleep deficit. Even though we can't bank sleep, if you know that you're going to have a weekend where you're low on sleep, make sure that you slept really well the 3 or 4 days prior to that weekend. So make sure that you've got a really good nighttime routine for those 3 or 4 days. If you know that on the weekend you've got something coming up where you're going to be in sleep deficit. It's hugely impactful, guys. It has an impact on your performance. It has an impact on athleticism. It has an impact on your memory, your ability to cognitively remember things. It's super important. I'm going to do a session on sleep science as well, why we sleep, the importance of sleep, how it acts as energy in and how it acts as energy out. But for today, this is just a few tips in order to get you into a good sleep habit, a good sleep routine, so that you have energy and you feel energized for your days and weeks ahead. All right, thanks for listening.